Yep.
From the last bit that we talked about, I just brought the vocals in, and then some more guitars were about to come in, and in the build up to the guitars I bought one of my synthesizers, which is that sound. Quite an intense sound. And I've got quite a few keyboards and quite a few synths, but I wanted it to sound quite realistic. I didn't want it to sound overly synthetic, so I wanted it to sound slightly like a flute or something like that. And I was going to use one of my synths over here, but I used this one, which is the Korg Z1, which is a multi-oscillator physical modelling synth. And the patch that I made uses a bowed string model. So modelling the actual bowing of a string. And then the first page, can you see the page? Try and come stand next to me. Can you see the screen? Does it zoom in anymore?
No.
It's alright. As long as you can see some words, you can hold it a bit above it. Right, bowed string model. And you can, first page it's got pitch, and I used an LFO just to slightly dip the pitch as it goes along. Really basic. If you go on to your next page, you've got pitch again. Weren't really much done in there. And then it goes into the bow section, and you can alter the bowing speed, and I sent that to, it's called EG2, which is basically just an envelope generator, and that's the second one in my bank. And I've had that at +80, so the bow speed will move gradually over time. And you can hear it pushing, going a bit quicker, a bit slower. And then I've also, it's got Y +/-, which is this XY pad here. I've got it set to hold at the minute, so it will hold it. It's also set to resonance and the pressure of the bow as well. So as you, when I hit, going from there to there, you'll hear it feed back and really. It's effectively putting a great deal of pressure onto the string. There's a bit of dampening string. You can pick string positioning in the dispersion of the string, so how much of the sound will propagate from the string, which will make it sound a lot fuller and a lot louder. That's done on here as well. So when I do it here, there's no dispersion from the string, so it just sounds like noise. Because when I put it up here, it's adding loads of amplitude. You can also alter the reflection of the string, so as it bounces back. So by adding a lot more dynamic and a lot more pressure from the string sound, and then also adding a great deal of reflections, it will start to sound like it's going to feed back. Which is one of the things that I did. Put a sub oscillator in there just to give it a bit more bottom. And that's it for that. Then there's a mixer page where you can mix them all together. Filter, I used a notch filter and just pulled out some of the low mids to really make it shriek. And it comes complete with two filters. And I used a notch, and then I used a dual bandpass. If you just look at that, it looks like two booths. Can you see that?
Really?
Yeah, it don't really matter. Just about. It's just a dual bandpass, and you can move the bandpass filters past each other. So you can have one at a great amplitude and another one with a greater Q value, and you can sweep them past each other, which will give this sort of odd dual frequencies. And I've got them routed to an LFO, so it will move, and these will move throughout the frequency spectrum. Then it just goes into an amplifier, and then you've got all your envelopes, your LFOs, your effects. I used a rotating speaker, which is why it sounds a bit like it's doing that. And then that goes into a hall reverb. And then that goes straight, line out. If you just look over it, I'll move this chair. I've got a great deal of space. Goes straight into the pre. I can't remember the exact settings I had on it, but if you try and film this dial here, that shows my gain reduction. and then that chained into the tube distortion as well. So if I just do this, set it so it's going off, that's just the tube distortion. So keeping that quite low. So that's the direct signal, just there. And then if I bring in tube distortion, mix them together. It's quite an interesting sound.